Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday morning. We are live. It is Tuesday, and we are going to work on some strength training today. So if you don't have any weights, that's okay. I'm going to show you some different options. Not everything we're going to do is with weights. And because we're going to be doing some different types of exercises, we are doing some on the floor. Now, if you don't feel comfortable or if you don't have someone there with you, if you need some assistance, just watch these. You can go back later and watch the video again and try them on your own. But I want you to really work on some of these that you might not feel real comfortable doing because it is strength. And sometimes our fear comes from a lack of strength, or it could come from not being able to get up off the floor or different things like that. So we want to work to overcome that. And I'll kind of get into a little bit more as we get into those floor exercises. So if you have a mat, that's great. If you don't, that's fine. And like I said, if you want to watch this and then try the exercises later, that's great also. Make sure that your computer is set so that if you do get on the floor with me, you can see what I'm doing and position your camera or your laptop where you need it. So again, anything you miss, you can go back and watch this later after it's posted on YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is to work on some leg strength. Now, the one exercise you should be doing at home every day, you can do this as many times a day as you want because you can't overdo this exercise, is sit to stands. So one of the most important things is to be able to get up out of a chair. And if you have a hard time getting out of a chair, or if you always look for a chair with arms on it to get up out of, you understand the importance of being able to get up. Studies show that being able to get out of a chair as you get older is one of the ways that doctors kind of gauge your level of independence. So when you start having a harder time getting out of that chair, that shows that your health is and your strength is deteriorating. So doing these sit to stand exercises, again, one of the most important exercises that you can do at home, and you can do this. Sometimes when we exercise at home, it has to become a habit. So, what I usually recommend for people, if you're trying to get into a routine of doing an exercise or even just exercising for 20, 30 minutes, is to set a timer. Many of you I know who are watching this have timers for your medication. You have them on your phone. Set a timer for your exercise. Make sure you're not sitting for too long. That's one of the things any of us can be guilty of doing, is being sedentary and sitting too long. Really, I recommend about every 20, 30 minutes, if you're sitting, get up, move around, do some stretches, do some exercises. Just don't sit for more than half an hour, especially an hour at a time. You have to get up and move, because if you don't, those muscles just get tight and you get weaker and it gets harder to get up and move around when you need to. So we are going to start off today with these sit to stands. So always make sure you have a good sturdy chair. Now, again, I do recommend that you don't use a chair with arms. That tends to be kind of a crutch that we use, is always looking for that chair, but you're not always going to find it. You might be at someone else's home. You might be on vacation. You might even just, be out to eat at a restaurant, and you can't get up out of that chair because you don't have arms on it. So good sturdy chair. This one I'm using this is actually an office chair from our studio. So something that's not real shaky or tippy, or something that's going to be real good and sturdy. So a couple of things you can do here to start out. Let's do it. I'll show you kind of two ways to do it. So first thing if you do need some assistance and you don't have arms on your chair, which we don't want to use if we don't have to, you can kind of step one foot off to the side. The seat of my chair is right here. So if I need to, I can use this to kind of push off. Now, some people will do this. It works sometimes it doesn't, because we can actually push our legs back down. So hold on here if you need to, to the seat of the chair. The biggest thing when you get up out of the chair is to make sure you're forward in the chair. So I don't want to be all the way back against the seat of the chair, because I won't be able to get out. It's much harder to get out of the back of the chair if you're all the way in. So scoot your bottom forward. I'm right up kind of on the edge of the seat, but I'm secure here. I'm not hanging off. All right, so I'm going to step my feet in just a little bit. Now, try different positions. Usually hip width apart works. You can go a little bit wider if you need to. And again, you can do this if you need that little bit of assistance. So I'm starting here. I'm going to hinge at my hips. So as I hinge forward, I'm bringing my nose over my toes. And as you start to come forward and you start to lift, you want to press down into the floor with your feet. So really grip down into the floor and then push up through your legs. All right, now here's how it's going to look if you do it this way. Same thing, you want to be up towards the front edge of the chair. You're going to hinge forward, again, pushing up through the legs. All right, now we're going to do this 10 times. I want to show you one more tip here. A lot of times I'll see people, I'll turn to my side so you can see my feet. They'll start to get up and maybe their feet are too far forward, but as they come up, they kind of rock back on the feet. You can see the front of my feet are coming up. Well, if you're doing this and you can't get up, you need to plant those feet. So again, I tell my class all the time, it's like a monkey gripping with their feet. So you want to really grip down into the floor so your feet are flat on the floor. Your weight's not on your heels or up on your toes. That's the other thing. Sometimes people come up like this and you don't have any balance here. All right, so we're going to try this 10 times. And with the strength exercises, you can start off doing these 10 or 12. That's kind of the goal. If some of these are a little more difficult, you can start with 5 or 6. Just kind of start with where you're at, work up to 10 or 12. And when we talk about with strength, we talk about reps and sets. So your repetitions is how many times you do an exercise kind of in a row. So if I say I want you to do 10 repetitions, that means I want you to do this exercise 10 times. Sets would be how many of those 10 I want you to do, or how many times I want you to do those 10. So if I say 2 sets of 10 repetitions, you're going to do 10, you're going to rest, you're going to do 10 more. We're just going to do 1 set and we're going to do 10 repetitions. So bring the feet underneath. Again, up towards the front edge of the chair, sitting up nice and tall, hinge forward, nose over toes, really hinge, and then stand all the way up, all the way back down. All right, we're doing 10 of these, so keep going. Now, as you do these, my arms are coming up. You can do them just like this. Some people like to do them with arms crossed. That's fine, you can do that. You can make it a big movement. We always do big movements by raising the arms up high, all the way up, all the way down. All right, we have 5 more of these to do. Good. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, good. Go ahead and sit all the way back down. All right, very good. So one more thing with that one. Again, when you're doing these exercises, make sure you're up towards the front edge of the chair. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. And make sure that when you go forward, that you're hinging at the hips, bringing the nose over the toes. So think about that nose over toes. All right, so 3 tips there. for getting up out of the chair. Do that every day. Again, this is something you should do every day. A couple of times a day if you want to. The more you can do it, the better. So, this isn't something that you should only do a couple of times a week. You need to do these every single day. All right, so next exercise we're going to do. And for this one, again, since we're on YouTube, I'm just going to show you the exercise. Depending on where you're at in your home and your setup, you can go back and do this one later. So we are going to stand up. We're going to do some push-ups. Now, here's what I'm going to show you with the push-ups. So if I say I want you to do push-ups, most people are going to be like, no, I can't do a push-up. We're going to do a wall push-up. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of different options to do these. So I'm going to stand this way, and then I'm going to kind of turn my back towards you as well so you can see different angles. So when you start the exercise, your hands want to be fairly wide and about shoulder height right in here. You don't want to be too low. You don't want to be way up here either. So right about at the shoulder height. So if I come up to the wall, I'm going to stand and I'm going to step back just a little bit. So I'm at a little bit of an angle and my arms are going to start off straight. Okay, so this is our push-up position from the side. From the back, right here, and you can see how wide my hands are. We're going to lower down and press up. All right, I'm going to do it from this angle just so you can see me a little better. So we're going to start here, step the feet into a comfortable position. Back is nice and straight. We're going to do 10 push-ups. Now, make sure, a couple of tips here again. I'm going to come back to these tips from time to time. One of the things I'll see sometimes is when people are doing these is they'll bring their chin forward. Think about keeping your neck and your spine in alignment. So your whole spine is in alignment. Now, in order to do that, tuck the chin back. So you're not down, you're not tucking it down, you're not going up, you're not going forward. You want to tuck it back, straight line down the spine. All right, hands on the wall, arms are nice and straight. And again, I'm about shoulder height with my hands and my arms. All right, we're going to do 10 of these. So I'm going to lower my chest towards the wall and then press back up. Now you can reposition your feet if you need to come forward a little bit, lowering down and pressing up. So you want to bend the elbows, chest comes towards the wall, press back up, straighten the arms. Okay, good. All right, we're doing 10 of these. So keep going. And again, I'm going to show you here from the back. So I'm going to turn, going down and pressing up. All right, we're going to do about 4 more of these. 3, 2, last one. All right, good. Okay, so in the way that the sit to stand, work the legs, this one is working the chest, strengthening the chest. It's where a push-up works. And then also in the triceps and the back of the arms. Now, if you feel like you want to try this on the floor, I do have a lot of people that can do these on the floor. You can do a modified. So you would want to come down onto the floor. And again, you can do these in a modified position. So your knees are on the floor, your hips are flat. And again, your arms are nice and wide. And then you're going to do your push-up here. Now, not everybody can do those. That's okay. You get a good benefit from doing these at the wall. So try them on the wall, 10 repetitions of the wall push-ups. All right. Next one we're going to do, we are going to use some different types of weights or resistance on this one. Now, if you don't have weights with you, that's fine. Do the movement with me without any weights. I'm going to show you a few different things you can use. So here I have a set of dumbbells. A lot of us have a set. Sometimes I'll find them in people's basements. They say, oh yeah, they're here somewhere. See if you can find them. And whatever weight you have, I'll kind of explain that a little bit more in a minute. You can also use cans of vegetables. So I have a couple of cans of beans. You can use these for weights. This is probably about a pound each. And then the other thing, many of you have these. If you've done physical therapy, you have a flat TheraBand that you can use, or some of us have the tubing with the handles, so you can use these as well. I'll kind of show you with each one of these as we go along. Now, with the weight, if you are using weights and dumbbells, what I want you to do is to gauge how much weight you use. If we're doing 10 repetitions, you want those to be a challenge. You don't want it to be too easy where you just feel like you're just moving your arms, nothing's happening. If we're doing 10, you really want to feel those last couple of repetitions. You want to be able to finish them, so you don't want it to be too heavy to where you're really struggling to do 10 repetitions, but you want it to be enough of a challenge that you really feel those last couple of repetitions that you're doing. So I'm going to show you again with the weights. If you have like a lot of people have 3 pounds or 5 pound weights, that's probably good for most people to start out with. 1 pound weights are fine. When I've taught women's strength training classes, I always say, don't think you need to do 1 or 2 pounds because your purse probably weighs more than that. So you want to be able to do something functional. So you don't pick up a lot of stuff that's only a pound or 2. It's going to be a little bit heavier. So going 3 or 5 is probably a little more of a functional weight. So again, I'm going to show you a few different ways here. I'm going to have my weights. I'm going to have my cans of black beans. And I'm going to have my 2 bands. So as we do these 10 repetitions, I'm going to kind of switch, and you can see the movement with each one of these. Now, one tip I will say with the band, whether you're using a resistance or a TheraBand or a tubing, check it from time to time and make sure there are no cracks or rips, because if there are, your band can snap as you're working with the band. And if you've ever been snapped with a resistance band, it hurts. So check your band from time to time. Make sure there's no damage to it. All right, so we're going to start off. I'm going to grab my weights first. All right, now the exercise we're going to do here is a row. So I'm going to show you again with each of the weights how we're going to do this. Now, the way I recommend to do this to start out is to have something to hold on to. So you can use a chair, a seat of a chair. You can use a bench. You can just go without the weights, but make sure you have enough strength to hold this position. So I'm going to show you with just the body without holding on to something. Again, we'll go through some of these and then go back to them. So first thing, again, hip hinge. You want to keep that hip hinge. Don't round your back. It's a lot of load on your spine. If you have any spinal issues, any osteoporosis, you want to avoid that movement. So hinging at the hips, bending the knees. So I'm kind of in this position here. So you can see my back is fairly straight down my spine. My arms are at my sides, drop down from my shoulders. All right, so from here, we're going to pull up, squeezing the shoulder blades together right here, and then lower back down. So it's a pull, squeeze, and down. Now my belly button's pulled up towards my spine. That supports my low back, keeps my abdominals contracted. All right, now I'm going to show you if you were to do this one with the bench, you could do knees on the bench. You can take one hand at a time, one arm at a time to do the row. I'm going to do just a couple more here. Last one. All right, good. Okay, now I'm going to show you with the other exercise or with the other forms of weights. So beans, again, about a pound, I would say for these. So same thing, you can hinge here, pull back, you're just holding onto the cans. Okay, so same movement. Resistance band, typically I'll use the TheraBand first. We'll go underneath the foot with it to do the exercise. Some people will have a little anchor in the door that they can use to hook it into. That's great if you have that. If you're putting it around something, like I wouldn't do this. This might be okay here, but you can see the chair is going to tip. So you want something really sturdy if you're going to do it that way. The tubing, again, if you have the tubing, a lot of times it comes with a little anchor that you can put into the wall or into the door, and you can do the exercise. I'll show you hinged as we were doing here. Same movement and then pulling up. Now you can also cross it to change the resistance. This is harder because I'm making the band shorter. If your band, the more band you have, the less resistance. So if you make it shorter, it's going to be more difficult. Now, again, with the movement, you want to pull up, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then lower all the way back down. So this is the movement here. If you're doing these on your own later, 10 of these again, and keep that nice straight back. Again, if you were to do one arm at a time and you had a good sturdy chair, I would say right here, and that gives you a little bit more support on your back. All right, next one we're gonna do another one with weights. So again, we'll use our 4 tools here. So we're going to do some bicep curls. Now, again, I'll show you with each one. I'll start here with the cans of beans. And we're going to just drop the arms down, bend the knees slightly. And then what we're going to do is curl up with the arms and then lower all the way back down. All right, so this movement here, and you can see I'm bringing the arms up and then I'm lowering them all the way back down. So I'm not just coming back to here and doing a small movement. I want to go all the way up, all the way down. So take it a full range of movement. Again, with the weights, same thing, curling up, all the way back down. Keep the shoulders down and relaxed. A lot of times when people start to use weights, I'll see them do this. You're going to say, oh, I feel this in my shoulders. Well, you have your shoulders tensed up. So relax the shoulders down. All right. Band, same thing. Each of these, I'll show you with the tubing. You would generally take it under your foot or both feet. Again, the less band you have, the harder it's going to be. Make your band longer. It's going to be a little less resistance. One tip with the band, whether you use that flat TheraBand or tubing, make sure you have it under kind of the arch of your foot. If you put it up here underneath, say the ball of your foot, it can pop out. And again, you don't want to be popped with that band because it does hurt. So underneath the mid part of the foot, underneath the arch, better to do this with shoes on. Again, just to keep the band in place. And again, you would do the same thing, curling up all the way back down. All right, so, and I'm going to show you those 2 exercises before we move on here. Those 2 exercises we just did can also be done in the chair. So move my things here, bring my chair back around. So if you do need to sit, or if that's the best position for you, if that's what you have to work with, you can do those exercises seated. So I'm going to show you those here seated quickly. And then again, you can go back and do these later. So I'll use my dumbbells. So row, I'm going to turn to my side here a little bit so you can see me. So again, same hinge forward, arms down, back is straight. So you can see my back, I have a straight line all the way down my spine from my neck down. Don't drop your head down or lift it up, neutral position. Pulling up and down. Okay, same thing. Now, if you were to use the band, again, band would go underneath the arch of the foot, underneath the mid part of your shoe, sitting up, and then hinging and pulling. So same movement. Now, bicep curl. Again, same thing here. Seated, feet flat on the floor. Sit up tall, tuck the abdominals in. If you need the support of the chair, if your back is not real strong, you can sit back here on this one. I'm sitting all the way back in my chair. If your legs are shorter, you can put a pillow or a cushion behind you to help your back, support your back a little bit more. So same thing, all the way up, all the way down, full range of movement. All right. So again, if you do these exercises on your own later, 10 repetitions, one set of each one to start off. So we've got the sit to stands, the wall push-ups, the rows for your back. So sit to stands for the legs, wall push-ups for the chest, triceps, rows are for the back, biceps, curls for the biceps. And then now we're going to go into a couple of floor exercises. So here is where, again, I recommend that you try these at home. If you want to do, I would say do them with someone there if you're not real comfortable getting up and down off the floor. Now, most people, when I say, if I ask the question, can you get up off the floor? Most people will say, yeah, but it's not pretty. That's okay. No one's judging you in a contest about how well you get up off the floor, how beautiful it is. It needs to be, can you get up off the floor? Because there is a likelihood you could fall and not be seriously injured. And you need to get up off the floor. If you can't physically get up off the floor, what happens? You have to call the fire department, the police, the ambulance, they all come out. If you're not hurt, you want to be able to have that strength to get up off the floor. Leg strength, core strength, so abdominals, low back, upper body strength plays into it also. So all of those things are important, and we need to practice that. Even though we may not feel comfortable doing it, or we may not feel we're the best at it, that's an exercise, again, you need to try and do just to make sure you have the strength to do it. So first thing we're going to do, and again, if you're not doing these with me, that's fine. Come back later and try them. If you're in a place where you feel safe, let me move my chair actually back here. And I just have a yoga mat here, so you can do this anywhere. And I would say, try it in your living room if, that's where you're more likely to be. All right, now, first one we're going to do, so most of us can get down on the floor. Now, may not feel great. Your knees may crack and creak a lot. If it's not painful, it's okay. We're just stiffing those joints, to get down on the floor. So again, try it if you're in a place where you feel comfortable. All right, so first exercise I want you to try, we're going to lay on your stomach. Now you can do this one on your bed. Your bed is not you have too much give on your bed, so it's better to try it someplace like on a floor. But you could try it on your bed and see. Again, it's going to be different because you have too much give on your bed. All right, so first thing we want to do is get the elbows right underneath the shoulders. And I'm going to tuck my toes here underneath. So instead of laying flat, my toes are tucked. All right, now, some people can just lift right here into kind of like a cobra pose in yoga. So just lifting the chest up. This is actually a good stretch for your low back. And you can try this one. Now, the next thing you would want to do is to get into a plank to work the core, the low back and the abdominals. Starting off, you can start here, and then I'm just going to lift my hips off the floor. So not very high. My knees are still on the floor. This is kind of a modified plank. Now, this may be difficult. You may really feel this in your low back. I would say starting off, if you've never done these, just hold it for a couple of seconds and see how you feel. And then if you can, hold it each time a little bit longer. So progression here, lift the hips up. Your next progression from here, again, keep those elbows underneath the shoulders, would be to lift the knees. Much more difficult here. So start where you can. All right, so again, for that one, I would say, hold it for a few seconds. You're not doing a certain repetition with those. So it would be go up into the position, hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds, longer if you can. You can do it a couple of times, but it's not going to be the 10 repetitions like we did with the strength exercises. All right, so next one, I'm on the floor. I need to get up. How am I going to get up off the floor? All right, so I'm going to start off here. If, unfortunately, you were to fall, and again, this is if you're not injured. Now, if you're injured, if you feel like, you've hurt your neck or your back or, your knee, whatever, you want to get EMS out right away. If you've fallen, and a lot of people I know with Parkinson's, they fall a lot. And most of the time, they're okay. So yourself if you're all right or not. Again, if there's any question, please, please, please call 911. All right, so I've fallen down. I'm laying on the floor. I'm okay. I just kind of stumbled. I can get up. How do I get up from here? Best thing to do, starting off, roll onto your side. So you want to pull your knees up. I'll scoot back here a little so you can see me better. Pull your knees up, roll onto your side. From here, you're going to take a hand down, and you're going to start to come up onto the hands and knees. All right, now you can see right here, this is actually a lot of strength in the legs and the core. So coming around, coming up onto the hands and knees. All right, so if you can get up to this position, okay, what next? So if you have a sturdy chair, excuse me, beauty of live video, you sneeze. If you have a sturdy chair close by, a sturdy piece of furniture, get yourself over to that piece of furniture. Okay, I have my chair here. I'm going to take my hands, my arms up on the chair. All right, now from here, I'm going to come up, bring my foot up, and I'm up off the floor. All right, now, if you were here and you didn't have anything to help you, to assist you to stand like a piece of furniture, a chair, all right, what do I do next? So you can get the knee up, so you get one foot down, start to walk the feet back, get yourself up. You can come back into kind of a squat, a deep squat position. And then carefully walk yourself up. So you can see all the different strength that you need to be able to get up off the floor. Now, again, a lot of people will say, I really don't want to try that. It's something you need to try, but again, make sure that, someone is there at home with you, that you have a piece of furniture close by, something sturdy that you can help yourself get up with. This is the best way. Most people, even if they say, I can't get up off the floor, if there's something here that they can assist them, they can get up here, walk the feet up, and start to stand. So again, you can see that's upper body, core, leg strength. So your whole body gets involved in that. And again, this is the importance of strength training, is not, we don't do it so that we have, muscles or look a certain way. It's functional strength. It's to be able to do things like get up out of a chair, get up off the floor, reach up and get something off of a shelf, pick up something, grocery bags. So you have your groceries. How are you going to get them up if you don't have any strength? You have to have that functional strength to be able to do your activities of daily living. So again, we kind of went through a lot there. The main exercises I want you to do every day at home. Sit to stands. You can do the wall push-ups or the rows. Sit to stands is probably number one, I would say. Do those as many as you can, standing up out of the chair. Again, try the planks. You can try them in your bed, but again, you're going to have a lot of give with your mattress. So work on those different things. Try them. Again, have your spouse or if you have a caregiver that comes in, have them there with you so that you can practice these exercises and know what you need to work on. So if you do really have a hard time getting up off of that floor, that's something you need to work on. So don't think, oh, I can't do it, so I'm not going to do it. You need to try it. You need to step out of your comfort zone and work that strength, work on that strength to be able to do those activities of daily living. So again, go back, watch this video later, try those exercises at home with the strength training exercises, the sit to stands, the wall push-ups, the rows, the bicep curls, any of those, about 10 repetitions, one set to start off. You can do 12 repetitions, one set. Again, you're going to see what's more comfortable for you. Listen to your body. Your body is your best judge. Know the difference between pain and discomfort. So getting up off the floor may feel some discomfort there, but it shouldn't be painful. Okay, same thing, getting up out of the chair. Your knees may crack a little bit and creak, may feel a little uncomfortable. As long as it's not shooting pain, really painful, work on it. All right, we all need to be strong. We have everyday activities we have to do, groceries, laundry, dishes, whatever, all require strength. So work on that strength training, and we will see you back next Tuesday for another exercise session. So everyone have a great day, stay safe, wear your mask, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.